I've tested these 5 most popular printers here to see which one, well, stacks up to its name and its brand name, because we have a few cool brand names here. So this one is the Brother. I think this is the largest one I have, pretty heavy here. So it is a very cool printer. Then we have another large one. Let me get that. I think this one is about as heavy. It's the HP LaserJet Pro series. So this is a large one as well. I think for office use too. So there's both the Brother and this HP LaserJet are for office use. So now when you see them side by side, you can see they're almost as large here. This HP one just has a little bit higher top here with the scanner or the copier, so that's pretty cool as well. That's also the main difference here. This HP LaserJet Pro also has an insert here for your copy paper, so that's pretty easy to use. And then also a lid here for your scan, so this can scan and easily copy. And this Brother one right here has the scanning section right here, so you can of course obviously make copies when you scan it, but it doesn't have an easy to use scanning function like this LaserJet has right here. So you can do multiple copies, like a whole set of pages together, and then copy them at once. So that's pretty easy to use. Now these both are black and white printers, which means they are both very, very economical. So I think these are great in like a home office setting, or perhaps even an office setting for small offices as well, because you can print quite a large stack on here. They both are front loaded, so you can load the paper underneath here. So that's pretty easy to use as well. And they both take a lot of paper in there. So you can put a whole stack of A4 papers in those loading docks and then print and print, and you don't need to replenish that often. So that's pretty great. Now I think this one is a little bit more modern, this HP LaserJet, because it has like a touch screen here. You can flip that out, so that's pretty cool as well. Have that in there or flip it out. And then it's a pretty intuitive menu here, so you can go through that and select what you want to do, copy or scan or print. And this Brother one reminds me more of like those printers we had in our office. It's just a little display, nothing too much. The menu is easy as well, but you have more hardware buttons here. So I think it's a little bit more heavy duty here, while this is a little bit easier to use. So those are the differences here with the Brother. I think it's better for like office settings, and this is more geared toward like a more modern setting here. Now both you can use with the app. I like the HP app just a little bit better, and I've been using the app quite a long time with the HP 5000 series, which I'll get into in a minute. And of course with both you can use USB cable or Wi-Fi for the network along with the app, so you can print from your mobile, from your computer with the USB, or through the network with Wi-Fi. So that's all quite the same here and pretty easy to use. Now the Brother was the fastest in printing, from sending it from the computer to printing out 3 pages. So this is the fastest. So if you want those fast prints, then this Brother is the best one. I think this is a little bit more easy to use, and you also have that easier copy function. So I think that's the choices. If you want to go for a larger black and white printer, then one of these, either one of these will do in those situations. Now let's go to the smaller printers. So these two are quite comparable in size and look and feel, of course. This is the Canon Pixma TS700 series, and this is the Epson EcoTank ET 2800 series. Well, they're both similar in size as well here, but this feels a lot lighter. This is very, very light, even though it's a little bit higher here, and this is still quite heavy. And this feels a lot sturdier, this one, this Canon Pixma, than this Epson one. It feels just a little bit flimsy. Now you also have your scanner here up top with the Epson, so that's pretty easy to use. This is a back-loaded printer here, so you load your paper here in the back, and then it prints out in front, and it has these ink bottles that you use to fill it. I like the ones with the ink bottles just a little bit more. I think it's a little bit more environmentally friendly, and you can fit a lot more ink in there, so you don't need to replenish it that often, and often just a little bit cheaper. So this one is great in that regard, and the HP 5000 series also uses that EcoTank printer system. So that's pretty cool as well. The cool thing about the Epson here is you have a little menu. You can also flip that out so you can easily look at that from the top. So this menu is quite easy to use, quite intuitive. So they really did a good job here in making this very easy to use. Now with these you can also use an app to connect with it. You can use your USB cable and use this over the network. So there's no real difference in those in that regard. And this one here has a little copy function. It doesn't have a scanner, so you can copy your documents, but you can't scan like your passport with this one. Although this one feels really sturdy to me. So this is really a quality printer here. And this is also front loaded. So you load your paper in here. You can set the paper sizes and then just load that in there. And that's also just a little bit less flimsy, I think, than a back-loaded one like this Epson right here. Now the Pixma from Canon has cartridges that you load in there. It's very easy and fast to load those. So in that regard, it's pretty cool. But you need to replenish these cartridges every so often. And also they're a lot smaller than if you pour in your bottle of ink that you do with a printer like this or the HP 5000 series. So let's put this away for a second. I think this is a really cool printer. It's a little bit more expensive, but very cool to use this. And then put the HP 5000 series next to this one, the Epson. I think these are the most comparable for the smaller printers here, the home printers. They're both back-loaded, so it's a little bit flimsy here. I think this is just a little bit more sturdy, this HP printer, than the Epson. And I really think this is a different category of printers than this one. Now this also has a scanner right here, so you can scan your documents, which is pretty cool. And this one is also back-loaded, and it also has that EcoTank system here for loading your ink. So this is a really cheap way of doing this at home, especially if you want a color printer. Then I think I'd go for like an EcoTank system like this one. So if I'd go for a printer at home, I choose this HP 5000 series. Now it isn't the fastest. In fact, it was the slowest in my test that I did. It took a long time to connect this to like a computer, even with a USB cable. But if you're not in a hurry, then I think this is the cheapest per piece of paper to print. It's very easy to use, just a very small display here, nothing more, nothing less, but it's also easy to connect to Wi-Fi. And I think the app was the easiest to use, this HP app, and that's the same for the larger HP printer. So printing right from your phone is really easy to do here. So while I like how fast the Pixma is here from Canon and how sturdy this is, and just small in comparison to the HP 5000 series, I do think the HP 5000 series, if you don't mind waiting a little bit for your prints, I think this is the best buy in like the home color category here. And this Epson one is just in a completely different category. It feels a little bit more flimsy, even though the prints are quite nice. So let's look at the print quality for the smaller color printers now. So I made a color print for each of these of one of my flyers. Well, the image was a little bit too large, so you don't see the entire image, but that's okay. So I've named them here. This is the Epson one, then I have the Canon one, and then the HP 5000 series there at the back. The Canon one, the colors are a lot deeper. They're more pronounced, a lot greener than both the Epson and the HP 5000 series. So the Canon, I think, both build quality and the quality of the prints is just in a different category here. So it is a really cool printer, a little bit more expensive to print these, I think, with the cartridges. But still, if you're really looking for that quality and in build and in picture quality, then the Canon one is the way to go. It's just a lot more pronounced here, those colors, especially the greens that you can see. Then from between the Epson and the HP 5000 series, I think the quality of the HP 5000 is just a little bit better here. The colors are a little bit deeper and more pronounced as well. So looking at the image quality, the Canon definitely wins here, but the HP series is a close second. And then looking at black and white prints for each of these, well, there isn't really a difference that you can see in print quality. And I think the only thing you need to look at there, if you're printing black and white, is how fast it prints. So again, if you want a really fast printer that does black and white for your office, for example, then you need to get this brother. It is the fastest, it is very easy to use, and well, very, very large. And if you just want a home printer, then I think you would get away with this HP 5000 series. But if you're really looking for the best print quality, no matter the cost, then the Canon Pixma TS700 series is, well, the best quality I think you can get.